welcome back to my channel. It's day number 2 of the Upside Down Readathon. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I did make sure that I linked all of the information in the description box for you. There's a bunch of hosts, there's a Discord channel, there's a lot going on. It's gonna be 7 days of awesome fun. We're already on day 2. Day 1 went by so fast, and I feel like day 2 is going even faster, partly because it is already 10:44 in the morning, and I just know the day's gonna go by super fast, and I want to try to squeeze a nap in. Let me explain. Let's reverse back to last night. Watched the reading sprints, dipped out a little early as far as like reading goes. I still had the reading sprints up, but I started editing yesterday's vlog, got that done, got that scheduled, got that posted. I watched it back through and it had a glitch in it, so I had to delete it and go back into the editing, fix the little part that was glitching, re-export it, re-upload it, and then everything was good. Then I finished watching the reading sprints, finished my book, and that was all about like 1:30, and I was really thirsty from like all of that work that I wanted some tea, so I had some like non-caffeine David's, I think it's called Monster Mash tea. So I had some of that. So I was in bed by like 2 a.m. this morning. And then because I had tea right before bed, my bladder woke me up. So I was up at like 4:30. And then of course I got up to go potty. So Charlie had to go potty. So I took her out and I was praying that I could just slip back in bed, go back to sleep, but that didn't happen. So I've been up since 4:30. But I did get a lot accomplished, but also that means I'm very tired. And I really didn't vlog any of it because it was like dark in my house, like my husband was still sleeping and I was trying to be quiet. So, but I made a little checklist, a handy dandy checklist of things that I accomplished. So I was trying to brainstorm my Savior Song Instagram post, which I think is tomorrow, not entirely sure, but I need to brainstorm like an Instagram picture idea for that. Have something in mind, and I do have my song picked out, but did that. I actually recorded and edited a podcast episode that's going to go up on September 19th. And then I posted my Instagram video promo from the day number 1, and I posted my new Instagram post, which was the reading upside down prompt. Then I ate a little breakfast. I had some more oat milk latte tea from David's Tea, and then I also had a bagel with honey walnut cream cheese on it. Then I was catching up with some friends. I watched Reading with Jess's vlog. She's daily vlogging as well, and I think both of our plan is to have our videos go live in the morning so you can watch them as you're getting ready for work or getting ready for your day. So I watched her vlog, commented on her vlog, Marco Polo'd her, talked to Keisha as well. And then I was debating, should I just go back to bed now? But it was already so late. So I jumped in the shower, I washed my hair, you know, did the whole thing. And now I'm finally here to tell you about what happened with the Thursday Murder Club and also tell you what I'm currently reading. So let me just say, I think I made it clear yesterday, but Elizabeth is my favorite character in the Thursday Murder Club. I love how snarky she is. I love how sly she is. I like how she always has a plan. So love that for me, love that for this series, and I can't wait to read the second book. I need to add the second book to my wish list on Amazon, so if you want me to read the second book, I always do have my wish list linked in the description box of my videos, but I'm going to add the second book to my wish list, and I have the third book from the publisher, so really excited about that. But I ended up rating this 4 out of 5 stars. I really loved it. I really did. There's only like a couple of things that like kept me from rating it a full 5 stars. The first is that I first read 90 pages and then I had to restart because it like wasn't sinking in. There were a lot of characters. There's the 4 main people in the murder club. There's people that they have pasts with. There's other people that live at the resident village. There's like the owners. There's other side characters and stuff like that. So it was like a lot of characters, and also it was like British, and also I was listening to it on audiobook, and the audiobook and this book are not in sync. I think like they've changed terms and people's names to be more American in this version, whereas like in the audiobook it's all like what was originally written, you know, like people that I haven't heard of and stuff like that from like Britain and stuff. So that was the case, and also there's just like a lot of words on the page, and so that it was just kind of like that, and having to like restart it and go a little bit slower. I'm so glad I decided to like restart it and take it slower, and I ended up loving it. But the only other thing that kind of bothered me is I really thought it was going to be like one of those books, like a typical like locked room mystery or murder mystery where someone gets murdered, and then when the whodunit is revealed, you can kind of look back and see the clues that led up to that being the person that was responsible. And I don't feel like that was the case in here, at least for me. Like I said, I finished it at 1:30 in the morning, so I don't know, but I loved the characters. I loved the vibes. Can't wait to continue on in the series. And I feel like now that I'm grounded in the story, I feel like I'll be able to fly through the next few books. But yeah, really liked this one. 4 out of 5 stars for this one. And today I'm actually going to read this book that I kind of added to my TBR at the last minute, so it's not like in my TBR video or anything like that. I came across it because it has to do with like video games. It also has lights on the cover, and I think the cover just looks very Stranger Things, and that is 𝒍𝒊𝒏𝒌𝒔 by Sarah Farazan. I absolutely love this cover. It has all the neon lights on it and the title, you know, in the video game and stuff like that. But if you don't know, 𝒍𝒊𝒏𝒌𝒔 is like a term used in pinball, and it is about these 3 friends when they were younger in the 80s, and the one kid, Sam, was playing pinball and he disappeared, and one of the friends thinks that he was kind of like abducted by the pinball machine or something like that. Anyway, I just started it this morning. I'm not very far. I'm like chapter 3, page 12. But let me just say that listen to the dedication. To my sister Donna, who does not care much for the music of the 80s, but is the best thing to come out of the 90s. So yeah, I guess when the incident happened, it was in the 80s, but now we're in the 90s. Like that's the present day timeline. And just like, look at how the chapters are. Hello friends, we're going to the library. Thought I would take you along with me. I need to pick up some books for a Instagram post that I'm doing on my podcast. I'm making some lunch. I'll show you what I'm having. So I just have some white rice. I usually make bulk rice and bulk pasta and then just use that as a base. And then today for lunch, I'm gonna have this buttered chickpeas and veggies over my rice, and all I had to do was vent it and put it in the microwave for 90 seconds. But I need to heat up my rice first, so I'm gonna do that, like 30 seconds, because this is pretty hot. This has chickpeas, spinach, and vegetables in a mild creamy tomato and butter sauce. Yum. And of course, it's vegetarian and it's mild. But I have some other ones too that I get at the grocery store. The other one that I have is the lentil and veggie tikka masala. Let me see, there we go. So I kind of do these things for lunch sometimes because they're easy. And this pouch is 260 calories plus the rice. So, and it's like a whole big bowl of stuff. So I'm gonna sit here and eat my lunch, but I was thinking of maybe like turning on a show or a movie or something like that to watch while I eat, because I have been reading for the last like 45 minutes, maybe an hour. I'm on chapter 10, page 62, and I'm really enjoying Dead Flip so far. The pinball machine that's featured in here is actually a real pinball machine. So I'm gonna try to link pictures of that. I'll like insert them here, but I also want to share them on my Instagram. But yeah, so basically you have the 80s timeline and the 90s timeline. They were really good friends in the 80s, and then Sam disappeared, and for some reason it's actually, his name is pronounced Maz. So Maz and Corey, see, I wrote it pronounced Maz. So Maz and Corey kind of haven't talked in 5 years, but then they kind of like bumped into one another. And now I'm just trying to like piece together like what actually happened. But it is interesting because Sam seems to have gotten weird feelings from the pinball machine. So it's like, is the pinball machine possessed? Also, this is full of 80s and 90s pop culture references. Street Fighter 1 and 2. There's a whole bunch of like movies. Nirvana, Crisscross, like song names, Beverly Hills 90210. They went and saw this movie. Orange Julius, which, have you guys ever had an Orange Julius? I loved those. I think I only had one from the mall ever in my entire life, but I did find an Orange Julius recipe and I have replicated it at home. Fright Night, The Monster Squad. Let's see what else. Yeah, there's just been like several instances. They even talked about how people thought that Dungeons and Dragons is like the game that's featured in Stranger Things. Like people thought it was like a cult or something like that. friends, I finished 𒑍�🏏. I think I'm gonna rate it 3 out of 5 stars because the overall story of like body snatchers, body invasion, that sort of thing, like I don't know if I'm like a fan of that. It's hard to explain the plot without like spoilers, but basically there's 3 friends in the 80s and one of them goes missing, and then 5 years later they return, but they're the same age that they were when they were missing. And then you kind of find out where that person's been, what's been going on, and so forth. Creepy things do happen, and there is like some body horror and stuff like that. I think as a YA reader, or even like a middle grade reader, it would be like scary, but I'm talking like a young YA reader might be scared. I don't know. It wasn't like really like scary. I did love the friendship aspects. I liked the main 3 characters. Some of the other side characters, it's like you hated them in the 80s timeline, but then you liked them in the 90s timeline. So like, did you really like the character? Or some you really liked in the 80s, but didn't like in the 90s. Like, I don't know. It's really hard to explain, but it was interesting. I liked the game aspect. I liked all of the pop culture references. It did feel very rooted in the 80s or 90s. Like I said, I like literally just closed the book and came back here to tell you my thoughts. So I really don't have much more to say than that. It is very short. It is 261 pages. So you can read this very quickly. See, here's like an example of the body horror on the back. No matter how hard I try, I can't get this image out of my head. Sam's eyes were rolled up so high I could only see white. His mouth was open, drool dripping down. His cheeks were caved in. Bluish veins bulged out of his neck like they were going to burst. Sam, I yelled, but he couldn't hear me. So little things like that. I definitely do want to keep this and maybe even possibly reread it at some point. And I think this is a great read for the readathon. So I'm reading the, synopsis now, and it says the author brings her trademark referential humor, witty narration, and vividly real characters to this vintage edge of your seat horror. So I guess it is technically considered horror, like YA horror. So I liked this one. I would say read My Best Friend's Exorcism. It's much better, but this is like, if you like that and you want more like 80s friendship vibes, but with like a friend group rather than just like a duo, check this one out. I just got off of reading sprints on Jesse's channel. I will have the links listed in the description box for you. Also, all of the people that I have featured, their Instagram posts will be in the description box. But I ended the night by starting Things We Do in the Dark by Jennifer Hillier. I've read 2 previous books by this author and enjoyed both. My favorite so far has been Jar of Hearts. And I've heard really good things about this. It is a library book, so I need to kind of make it a priority. Plus, it's the psychological thriller on my TBR, and if I do this, I will have checked off every single prompt except for the buddy read. That's where I'm going to end for tonight. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying the daily vlogs. There will be more to come, of course. Like I said, don't forget to check the description box for all of the information. Anything you could possibly be looking for should be down there, and I'll see you guys again in another video very soon. Bye guys.